All right, everyone, we're back here at the Disneyland Resort for a quick update today. There's a bunch of brand new food that has come out for the summer, but we also got a brand new foodie guide from Disneyland too for the 70th. That food's not out yet, but some of the summer food is already out. So we're gonna try some of that because there was one particular item I really wanted to get over at Flo's V8 Cafe, which I don't normally go to. So I'm here in DCA starting off this video for the update, and we're gonna head into Cars Land next. So we've made our way over to Cars Land. Like I mentioned, I'm headed to Flo's V8 Cafe to try one of the brand new summer food items, which is a hot pastrami sandwich. I love hot pastrami, and I wanted to see how theirs is gonna taste. It looked really, really good. There's a bunch of other new food items too. I'll go over some of them after I get this item and sit down in a little bit, we can chat. But there's a ton of new food items, and it was kind of crazy because they all came out and we were all like, well, is this for the 70th? And then in addition to that, they had a 70th food item like guide. So there's just a bunch of new food at Disneyland. Probably like tons and tons of things to try all summer and still have enough to do. So that's where we're headed next. And then there's a few updates, of course, here in Cars Land and Avengers Campus I'll show you as well before we head over to Disneyland. Check out some stuff over there. All right, so here it is. This is the pastrami sandwich. It's normal sliced deli pastrami with Swiss cheese, pickle chips, shredded lettuce, and mustard on fresh sliced rye bread. And you can get it with mandarin oranges or fries. And look who's here, actually. Mater's passing by right now. And you got, of course, the great view over here of Radiator Springs Racers. Always love sitting out on the patio. But again, yeah, this was $13.49. It was just over $11 with discount. But like pastrami is one of my favorite things, so I had to try Disney's take on the pastrami, and it looks pretty good so far. So I'm ready to dig in. All right, so here we go for the first shot, or the first bite rather, of the hot pastrami from Flo's V8. It's really good. I don't necessarily know that it compares to like places like The Hat in Lake Forest or something like that, but it's really, really good. And honestly, a really great option for Flo's V8. And at just over $11 with the Magic Key discount, it's not a big price either. My only complaint is that the rye bread, kind of wish it was toasted. More of a toasted sandwich bread person myself. And it's just sliced bread. So the pastrami is nice and warm, and the sandwich itself is warm, but the bread's kind of cold, so I feel like it takes away from it a little bit and makes it kind of soggy. But other than that, I really like this. I'd recommend it for sure, and I would definitely get it again. And I'm excited to see some better options like this over at Flo's V8 Cafe. But what do you guys think? Are you pastrami fans? Would you be getting this? Is this on your list to try? Let me know in the comments. We got Lightning McQueen passing by now. It's like him and Mater switched places. I forgot just how much stuff goes on when you're sitting over here in Cars Land. I almost never come over here anymore. You got the ride going, the car characters passing by. All right, so having finished that whole sandwich, I can say honestly that was an incredible addition over at Flo's V8 Cafe. But on to our first update of the day. This is now a dead end over here at Cars Land. So what would normally be the entrance to Avengers Campus from Cars Land is now closed. This is because they've begun actively working on construction for the all-new expansion for Avengers Campus, which includes the Infinity Defense attraction and then the Stark Flight Lab attraction, which are going to be behind this section over here. And then there's large backstage access areas in between here, so I knew that they were going to have to close this off, and as soon as we got the announcement that it was going to be, it made total sense to me. There's another wall on the other side, which we'll show you in just a moment inside Avengers Campus, but I wanted to come over here first. Yeah, the last time I was over here in Cars Land was when this area opened, the new Red's Community Garden dining space adjacent to the Cozy Cones. So it had been a while since I'd been over here, and I was happy to come back over and try some new foods. But let's go ahead and head now to Avengers Campus so I can show you what the other side looks like and kind of what's closed off over there. As you can see here in Cars Land, it wasn't too much closed off. It's just the very end of the path, so truly guests that are walking around Cars Land don't even notice that it's closed unless they actively or regularly use that crossover from Avengers Campus to Cars Land. we head into Avengers Campus, I just wanted to show this. I'm not sure what's going on. There's a little bit of some construction over here at the Sonoma Terrace. If you guys are going to the Magic Key Terrace, you're actually going to come to this side where the restrooms are normally, and this is the stairs that you'll be going up. On the other side, it's completely blocked up, and they're using that for entrance only for Wine Country Trattoria. So keep that in mind. It's a good reminder because for people who are going over here, a lot of people seemed confused about where to go for Magic Key Terrace because it looked like it's closed. And the main entrance access is closed, but they're accessing guests through that side staircase over there. But now we made it over to Avengers Campus, so let's head inside now to show you what the wall looks like on the other side and what's actually closed off on here. So I actually came over here to show you guys the wall and ran into another update or addition for Avengers Campus, which is the Red Guardian from Thunderbolts, the movie that just came out in theaters and is doing extremely well, by the way. Red Guardian was a really awesome character in the movie. He's now meeting and greeting at DCA in Avengers Campus for a limited time. And as you can see, his line is pretty long. So I'm not sure his times throughout the day, but you can always ask the cast members here. They'll be happy to tell you. In Avengers Campus, they're pretty open about it. They'll share with you when you can expect the different characters. But they're standing in front of the wall that I was going to show you guys. So we'll talk about it from the left side over here in just a second. So I wanted to start first over here in the old Doctor Strange Sanctum area. They've actually got the walls extended into this place. Now, I had theorized maybe, along with I think Mondo from Firefire's YouTube, that this space maybe would potentially be reclaimed for some dining space for Pim Test Kitchen and Pim Taste Lab. There's never enough space. They've added some tables here, not only for that location, but for the Shawarma Palace. And I didn't think necessarily that would happen to the Sanctum area itself, which is that area back there, where the wall currently is. I thought that it was going to be over here on this side where the decorations are, and really nothing ever happens over here. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think we'll see tables and dining space come to this area, or do you think they're going to keep it as is? Currently, there's no show happening here anymore because they've canceled the show. So there's really nothing ever going on here other than meet and greets. And I don't even see meet and greets go on inside. I actually see them greet right here in the doorway. But here's a closer look at the wall. They've sort of themed it really well to match the rest of the Sanctum. And as you can see on the other side, now that the Red Guardian is there, this is the wall's extension for this side. And it does have a little bit of a sign on it saying building a legacy, be back in the future, etc. It's not extending too far out into here, at least yet anyway, but we know from concept art that's going to be where we're walking to get into the new expansion for Avengers Campus. So eventually all this space is probably going to be reworked, in my opinion, because that's going to be how you access the new space. Before I head over to Disneyland Park, I wanted to show you guys this over at the Disney Theater. It's where they have the Disney Junior live on stage stuff with Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, etc. It's under construction right now. They're refurbishing the theater and also repurposing it for something new for the 70th. Another thing I wanted to show you guys before you're leaving too is Carthay came out from behind its scaffolding, which it was being completely refurbished, as well as all the buildings on Buena Vista Street, which by the way look incredible coming up here for the 70th. But Carthay itself is looking stunning, and some keen viewers who were at the parks late the past week noticed that they were doing the projection testing on Carthay Circle for the new show that's also coming over at Carthay Circle for the 70th. They're going to be doing a brand new projection show on the outside of Carthay Circle during the 70th. We don't know the details of it yet. We just know it's coming, and some people have already kind of seen it testing from outside the park when it closes. It looks really good though. All the surfaces are brand new. It looks like basically the park just reopened again. Now it is going to get a bunch of 70th decor adorning the whole outside of it, so that'll be coming as well. But they'll still have a bunch of space left to project on it, and I'm excited to see it. I'll have to add that to my roster of So many things we'll be doing that weekend when the 70th kicks off on May 16th. But let's head over now to Disneyland before we lose all of our daylight here. I came a little bit later in the afternoon, but we did most of the stuff I wanted to do in DCA, especially trying that treat over at Flo's V8 Cafe. And I think at Disneyland, the main things I wanted to show you guys were just kind of quick little refurbishments and things, some changes over in New Orleans Square, and then we'll be done. And speaking of 70th, they have no 70th banners up yet on any of the light posts in the Esplanade, but we do have the big centerpiece, which is going to have an abstract version of Sleeping Beauty Castle and the Disneyland 70th logo being constructed now as we speak, getting ready for that event. This is very similar to the one that we got for the Pixar Fest last summer, so it makes sense that this summer event would also have something similar. I feel like this is the last time we see something like this before construction starts to get a little crazy over here in the Esplanade. One little update before we start walking in. I noticed they're using the digital signs now. After they redid the turnstiles with the facial recognition, they had these digital signs and they say entrance. They're not flickering like that, just only on the video. In person, they're not looking like that at all. But the entrance process is pretty easy. You just scan your ticket, it scans your face, and then you walk right on in. The problem that they're having is that a lot of guests, especially our local guests, like to have everyone's ticket on one person's phone, and then they stand there and scan each person's ticket and then walk in. That's been a normal practice for a lot of people around here, especially families and moms and stuff like that. That doesn't really work with this new system because as soon as you scan the ticket, it's going to look for the face, and if the mom is standing there but she's scanning the child's ticket, it's going to scan her face, it's going to reject it. So it's become an issue in the morning when people are trying to come in. There's just not a practice, people haven't been in practice for this yet. So it's going to take a little bit of a learning curve, but the locals will get used to it, and then it becomes really, really fast. It's one of the best systems, honestly, and I'm really glad they're doing it now. Now, this is one of the updates I wanted to bring for you guys here. The Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki room is actually closed for refurbishment, and rumor has it they're going to be redoing a whole new section of the garden when you're waiting outside to get into the show. They have the whole interactive garden show with Tangaroa. Well, they're going to work on some of those animatronics and things in the garden, including the main Tangaroa one himself. So that's going to be a pretty major refurbishment, and awesome that they're doing it for Disneyland 70th. Hopefully the attraction is going to be open at some point this summer, maybe before the actual birthday. I don't necessarily know that it's going to be open in time for the kickoff during May 16th weekend. It has a TBD reopening date at this time, and it just recently closed at the end of April, so I can't imagine they'd be done that fast, but hey, maybe they are going to be. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see, but it will, I'm sure, open this summer, and I'll definitely be there to check it out. The Tiki room, for those that don't know, is my favorite thing here at Disneyland, hands down. So I'm headed over now to New Orleans Square to show you kind of a new reworking of an old store into a dining space, very much like how Bengal Barbecue got a dining space over here from this whole space that used to be a store. A little less glamorous in the version they did over in New Orleans Square, but obviously very much needed for the restaurant that got it. So we're headed there now. It is one of the most crowded days I've seen in a while. I know we've had a lot of those recently. When I came to Disneyland, actually, the parking structure was closed because it was full. Just to give you an idea of just how packed it is here. But we made it to what I wanted to show you guys, which is over here at the Royal Street Veranda, where you go to get your gumbo. This is normally all the space that they have for dining. It's like maybe 6 or 7 tables, where you come over here to get your gumbo and your clam chowder. People love coming over here. There's mobile order now. There's never ever been any dining space other than these tables here, especially ones that are shaded from or protected from the elements. And of course, Haunted Mansion just recently got a brand new gift shop. So the Haunted Mansion themed gift shop here was changed into a dining space. And I'm going to show you that now. So here's a look at the dining space here inside the former Haunted Mansion gift shop. They even have their cash register still set up, and guests can kind of just sit at the bar. They have it kind of all themed as like a little mini non-functional bar. They've given it a really great New Orleans jazz style vibe, and there's lots of seating in here. Even a little spot tucked in the corner. Really, really awesome. In addition to that, they even use the opportunity to put some additional tables outside here. So you've got two entrances inside that space that used to be the gift shop for some dining space, and outside. So it's now a really great place to bring your gumbo, your clam chowder. It's a really nice looking addition to this space. What do you guys think? And the last update I wanted to bring you guys was over here at It's a Small World. So the attraction is finishing up its extended refurbishment. You can see there's even people working on it right now. But the attraction was supposed to open on April 25th, but they delayed the construction reopening date to sometime in May. And then they gave us the May 9th date through some of the people that had announced it on social media. So that's next week. Small World's going to be opening next week with all of its new additions, including the addition of Miguel and Dante from Coco, as well as an all-new song, I believe. I'm not sure if the song's debuting on the 70th or if it's debuting now when it reopens, but we will be getting a new addition to the song. There's a new final verse or last verse that Richard Sherman and the Sherman Brothers had worked on, and is one of the last things he worked on before he passed away last year. And in fact, they have a little documentary on it that'll be playing in the Main Street Cinema during the 70th anniversary as well, so you can kind of see an insight on how they changed and added that final verse to It's a Small World. But the attraction will be opening next week, so you can at least see the new character edition and of course experience the refurbished attraction. And again, that's on May 9th, but I could even see them opening it early. It was supposed to open on April 25th, and it even looks pretty ready today. I'm not really sure what's left to be worked on. Disney could easily reopen it earlier, and so that may happen. So if you're here sometime between now and May 9th and the next week, you might see it open, so check over here. But officially, that's the date that they gave us. But that wraps up all of our updates here at Disneyland. So let's continue on for one little last thing over in downtown Disney, and then we'll wrap up this video. And this is the final update for the video. I wanted to bring you over here to Arthur & Sons, the new steakhouse in downtown Disney. We thought that so much of the building that was left before was going to stay, and potentially they would use the skeleton of the building, but they've actually torn away so much of it. It's almost all gone. I'm not sure if maybe they just have to deconstruct the building this way in pieces just because of its proximity to other things around it. But not only that, but a lot of people don't realize that in this part of downtown Disney, you're actually on the second level. There's a whole level underneath it that is the shipping and receiving for downtown Disney and the Grand Californian Hotel. So this is all second level here. So I'm not sure what the, if that brings a level of complexity as far as bringing a building down because of the, the sensitivities of being on the second floor and stuff being underneath it. So that could be it, but it's still coming down in pieces and almost everything is gone. I'll give you another view on the side. And you can see just how much of the building is gone. In the past, that whole back section was there, but it's all missing now. So I think there's a lot more of this building that's going to be disappearing, and they just have to do it in pieces just based on the fact of its, its location being on the second floor. But they are moving quickly on this, as quickly as they can anyway. And we'll probably have a steakhouse, I would imagine. At this point, maybe the end of summer, almost fall season is when I could see that potentially opening. But it's definitely not something that's going to be ready by summer by any means, based on the level of construction progress they're at now. But I think that pretty much wraps up all the updates I had for the video today. I wanted to thank you all for watching this video. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed because it really does help me. A lot of my viewers actually aren't subscribed to the channel. It's a very, very small amount. So I really appreciate it if you guys could hit that subscribe button. There'll be more podcasts and more videos coming soon. And of course, with the 70th just around the corner, there's definitely a lot more. So leave a comment below if you guys think that that new dining addition is a great temporary use of that space in New Orleans Square. I think it is, at least for the time being. I know my friend Scott Gustin said there are long-term plans for it to be used for extended queue for Pirates of the Caribbean. But we'll have to wait and see on that. For now, I think it's a great use of the space since they don't need it as a gift shop anymore. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.